Hey, welcome back. Welcome to Amino Acid Mondays. We're going to be talking about some A-beginning amino acids. I'm going to be starting with aspartic acid. It's also known as aspartate, if you want to call it that, and its three-letter amino acid code is ASP, or its one is just D. So let's draw the structure out on the right, as always. Okay. So it kind of has this side chain, this kind of like acetic acid looking side chain here. So it's got a CH2COOH side chain. And if you want its IUPAC name, you can actually call this thing 2-amino butane dioic acid. If I can spell dioic, there we go. Dioic acid. So why is this? Well, if we look at the structure here, we've got two carboxylic acid groups, and if we start with either of them, we can start with any, it doesn't really matter. We've got one here, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then on the second carbon we've got an amine group, hence the name 2-amino butane dioic acid. Okay, so it has a pKa of around 3.9. I'll put pKa. Ooh. Okay, hence why it's an acid, but this is dependent on the environment that it's in within a given protein, so it could be different from that. It's a non-essential amino acid. Okay. And the codons are GAT and GAC. Ooh, put that as a capital. And GAC if you want to replace the uracil there with the thymine for the DNA. So aspartic acid can also form secondary structures which are known as Asix terns. So these usually occur at the N-termini alpha helices. The reason why they're called Asix is because aspartic acid's aspartic acid's three-letter amino acid code is ASP, but asparagine's three-letter amino acid code is ASN. So actually this X can be either a P or an N. So asparagine, the next one we'll be talking about, can also form the same secondary structure. So let's talk about asparagine now. Okay, so asparagine. Okay, and again, ASN for its three-letter and N for its one-letter. And don't confuse this with aspartic acid. That's kind of a common mistake to do because the structures are actually quite similar. So let's draw the structure out here. Okay. So the only real difference we've got is actually, instead of a hydroxyl group here as part of the carboxylic acid group, it's an amine. Now this is a little bit misleading because if you actually look at this group here, this is altogether an amide group. So let's just put amide here, amide. You can call this carbox amide if you want, but it's essentially just the same thing. So again, you might be thinking, oh, it's basic because it has that amine group. But despite amine groups being basic, the amide group, so an amine group near a carbonyl, under physiological conditions, doesn't really act as either a base or an acid. So this is actually just a polar amino acid. You describe this as a polar amino acid, but it isn't necessarily basic. And obviously it can still form hydrogen bonds, etc. So it's also a non-essential amino acid, just like aspartic acid. Okay, and the codons are AAT and AAC. Cool.